So anyway, the reason I'm standing here tonight is because this summer, lovely warm summer's day, having family barbecue, and I decided to tell the story of my vasectomy to my brother-in-law, Kieran McAlindon here. He thought it'd be a perfect opportunity for a storytelling evening to tell the story in Lurgan. So, after a pint of beer, this really did sound like a fantastic idea. I was all in. No better man, I'm all over that. And I woke up with a hangover the next day, kind of forgot all about it. But then I got a reminder, then another. Kieran wasn't letting me off of this one. So, being a man of my word, here I am, shitting myself in front of all you lovely people, about to tell my tale of two testicles, a disaster story, as you'll soon find out. It all started when I was in my mid-30s, and after two healthy boys, my wife felt we, as in me, should take additional steps to ensure no unwanted pregnancies in the future. Being highly virile, and like most middle-aged couples, having rampant sexual relations at least 5-6 times a week, a little bundle of joy was highly likely. And being a mature, responsible adult in a relationship, I was volunteered to have this vasectomy. Of course, the appeal of being able to go bareback in the future with no associated risks, plus saving 30 quid a month on rubber johnnies, was also a happy coincidence. So, one morning the letter arrived. I had a doctor's appointment at the Gas Area Hospital, and little did I know what lay ahead of me. Upon arrival, I was invited into the consulting room and met by a doctor and clipboard wheeling nurse. These two ladies were indeed like chalk and cheese. The much older nurse was like something out of a Carry On film. She was no stranger to a fish supper, and the face on her reminded of a bulldog chewing a wasp. The doctor, on the other hand, looked more like she had walked off the set of Grey's Anatomy. Smoking hot would be the technical description. Long dark hair, smouldering eyes, and a body that could only be the result of amazing genetics and hard gym sessions. But more importantly, I could tell she quite fancied me. We then proceeded to go through the boring part. The operation was performed under local anaesthetic. It had been difficult to reverse the operation once it had been done. And was I sure this is what I wanted to do, etc., etc. I really needed to be sure, but obviously there's no going back really. To be honest, I wasn't really listening. I was too busy flirting with this absolute goddess, wondering at what point in the conversation I should suggest a polyamorous relationship, and whether she'd like to freeze some of my sperm for future use. I would also need to talk to my lovely wife into this arrangement too. I was shooting back to reality when the doctor informed me that I had to strip off my bottom half and present my credentials for inspection. I had not expected this so soon. I mean, we still hadn't even had our first date. The shock of the news inevitably meant that my friend Mr. Wally was ready to quirk an eternal pulling his head in. As this was 20 years ago, male grooming down below was unheard of. My gentleman's region resembled Phil Innes' hairstyle during the Live and Dangerous era. And to add to my woes, my pride and joy wasn't up in its best. Not wishing to brag, I'm generally very pleased with how nature has equipped me. Ask my wife if you must. Picture a well-fed skinned ferret. On this day though, along with Phil Innes' pubic region, Mr. Wadley looked more like a skin tag. My beautiful doctor was heartbroken when she saw this awful sight, and the nurse buckled with laughter. Rumour had it she had not laughed in years. How the mighty had fallen. I quickly made my escape. I don't think I've ever been so embarrassed. The next step was to get some expert medical advice regarding the operation. I wanted to be ready to go without any hiccups. Who was this expert? Another brother-in-law. It seemed to have no luck when it comes to my sister's lovely brothers and their advice. Having already had the snip, he advised make sure to save the entire gentleman's region nice and close. So one evening, a week before the operation, I started nervously saving Mr. Wobbly and his two circular friends. Jesus wept. After nearly severing an artery, my wife offered to dive tea and a solution the ladies in the audience will be familiar with. IMAC. Sweet Mother of Jesus. That is sung here. She must have applied half a gallon of stuff around the old groinal region. It went everywhere, not just the area intended. This lethal fluid ran right down the shuck of my arse, along the spot whaling bit, and proceeded to drown the old wicked starfish. I thought I was on fire. I swore I could hear Johnny Cash singing. Although I couldn't see it myself, my wife told me my ring piece looked like Rudolph's nose for about a week afterwards. But it gets worse. The way it left my groin, I have never witnessed such a sight. It reminded me of one of those mysterious crop circles seen on TV. I have to explain at this point, I'm a hairy man. Think half eight, the missing link. And now, with a football-sized ball area centered around the crown jewels, it looked pitiful. I glanced around to see what could be best described as Kojak sucking a lolly. I wondered to my wife, the lovely Liz, do you think she was sympathetic? Was she fuck? She pissed herself laughing. She couldn't even look me straight in the eye for days. So preparation for my procedure were going great. I thought things would be more straightforward when I got to the hospital. Well, let me tell you about that. On the morning of the procedure, I gingerly shuffled into the urology department in Daisy Hill Hospital in Uri to meet my surgeon. Now this guy was not what I was expecting when I think of a surgeon. He was a massive ex-rugby player. Broken nose, hands like shovels, and a bedside manner to match. He reminded me a little of Brendan Gleeson. However, he made Brendan seem feminine in comparison. Fuck, this guy made John Wayne look like Boy George's cousin. Once again, I was told to dock my trousers for another inspection. When my surgeon seen Liz's handiwork, he nearly fell off the seat and screamed, "In the name of fuck, what the hell have you done to yourself?" He was visibly upset, angry in fact, at the mess in front of him. "You only had to trim one tiny area of each bollock," he hollered. If my brother-in-law had been there that day, I would not have been responsible for my actions. So, feeling as low as a snake's foreskin, I was also into the operating theatre to be met by my surgeon again, this time in scrubs with his medical team. The guy still couldn't look me in the face. At the time my operation was in Uri instead of my hometown of Coolgardie, as no one knew me. Then the nurse, who just happened to be holding my left testicle, informed me that her sister worked the same company as me. Turns out the sister's in the fucking same team as me, had peeled for the day before. Tell you, scundered. So now on the operation. As mentioned earlier, it was done under local anaesthetic. I'll just explain the procedure. In order to administer the anaesthetic, the surgeon has to locate the male vas deferens duct in the testicle. Locating this is quite a task, as I soon found out. Firstly, my right testicle was secured tightly in the clamp. The surgeon then plunged into the area to locate the vas deferens with something that I can only describe as half needle, half fishing hook. Given the size of his hands, finding the vas deferens took some time. I was in fucking agony, the worst pain I've ever felt. I nearly jumped off the bed, clamp and all, and I know pain. I once had the top of my finger amputated in a gym accident. That was 3 bones, if you pardon me, Tom, compared to this. After it seemed like an age, the nurse wiped my brow. "Oh good, injection done, brilliant. That's the worst of it over." I just started to relax when she added the 4 words to my damn day, I will never forget. For the right side, anyway. I nearly fainted. It all had to be done again for the rest of the testicle. To make matters worse, if that was possible, various people kept entering the room and looking over at me. For some poor excuse why they'd entered the room. I was very aware of this. There I was, strapped up, phallic in its lamp. He was walked in looking for mysterious bits of paper while giving me the eyeballs. It was just, I'm not stupid. I'm convinced the word had spread about Mr. Imac and his mysterious smooth testicles, and they had to see them for themselves. The day could not end quick enough, but eventually it was over and I was discharged. The end hit me. I had driven myself to the hospital. Now I had to drive back. The twins were now separated thanks to a newly fitted jock strap, but where my tight 501s was coming back to bite me, the joy. I really needed a pair of MC Hammer trousers, not Levi's pants. To make matters worse, I had to stop for petrol on the way home. As I tried to walk across the courtyard at the Testicles filling station, as fast as I could, I looked more like an incompetent John Wayne. If only they knew. Then it was time to get home to recover, but worse was to come. Over the next few days, my balls swelled 3 times in all size. Went every colour of black and blue under the sun. Care at home also had a new name. Dara. My 3-year-old son, built like a tank, insisted on jumping in my lap at every opportunity. The joys of parenting. So as you can see, my vasectomy was a complete disaster. The only good thing I can say is it worked. I never did have any more children. So, would I do it again? Would I fuck? On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to the bar for a snowball or two.